Harry Woodring served as Assistant Secretary of War from 1933 to 1936 and Secretary of War from 1937 to 1940. In June 1940, Germany appeared to be on the cusp of conquering Europe. Nazi forces had been advancing quickly after invading Poland in September 1939. But on June 10th, Italy joined the war on the side of Germany, and then just 4 days later, Paris fell. Franklin Roosevelt understood that at some point, the United States would need to fight Nazi Germany. But Roosevelt had a huge problem. Most Americans, including his Secretary of War, Harry Woodring, vehemently opposed joining another European war. Isolationism ran deep. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson had both warned against entangling alliances, and the Monroe Doctrine had separated U.S. affairs from Europe's. Then after World War I, the U.S. Senate prevented the United States from joining the League of Nations. So Roosevelt needed to get reluctant Americans ready to fight another war, and that meant firing Harry Woodring. The fall of Paris reinforced Roosevelt's belief that Great Britain needed more American help. But when he told Woodring on the morning of June 19th to release B-17 bombers to Great Britain, Woodring refused. For Woodring, releasing the bombers would deplete U.S. forces and move the country closer to war. But that was the final straw. Roosevelt requested Woodring's resignation that afternoon. Because of a succession of recent events, both here and abroad, and not within our personal choice and control, I find it necessary now to make certain readjustments. I have to include in this a change in the War Department, and that is why I am asking that you let me have your resignation. Woodring did not mince words when he warned Roosevelt that the country was ill-prepared to handle what it was about to undertake. I assure you that my refusal of yesterday morning to your request for the release of the Flying Fortress bombers to foreign nations was based upon my own belief, supported by the General Staff, that it was not in the best interests of the defense of our country. I feel, Mr. President, that I cannot retire with my knowledge of the inadequacy of our preparedness for war without most respectfully urging you to maintain your pronounced non-intervention policy. I trust you will advise those who would provoke belligerency, a state of war, for our nation that they do so with the knowledge that we are not now prepared for a major conflict. Billions appropriated today cannot be converted into preparedness tomorrow. Roosevelt refused to make Woodring's resignation letter public. That caused quite a stir in Congress. Many Republicans and conservative Democrats supported non-intervention, and they joined in denouncing Roosevelt for firing Woodring. Some even speculated that the resignation letter included damning indictments of Roosevelt, which inspired one senator to submit a resolution that requested the White House to release it. But Roosevelt refused, and the letter remained private. Woodring's successor, Henry STIMSON, pivoted away from the non-interventionist policy to one that trained 13 million soldiers and airmen, dedicated 1/3 of the national GDP for war-related spending, and oversaw the development of the atomic bomb. Woodring went on to become a member of the notorious America First Committee, which tried to deny any aid to the Allies and harbored outspoken anti-Semites, particularly Henry Ford and Charles Lindbergh. The committee dissolved after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, which brought the United States into World War II.